Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are cracking open a topic that is, well, it's universal, but it can be strangely hard to talk about with any real depth. We're talking about food. I mean, food isn't just about sustenance, right? It's so connected to memory, to family, and to the geography of our lives.
It is. And, so many people experience this total freeze up.
Yeah.
You ask them what they had for dinner, easy answer.
Yeah.
But ask them about their favorite dish.
Oh, yeah.
And suddenly all that sophisticated vocabulary you need for a natural conversation just poof, it vanishes.
Okay, so let's unpack that challenge. Our mission today in this deep dive is to give you the exact tools you need. We're talking key phrases, descriptive vocabulary, and the structural tips to really discuss food naturally.
Whether you're ordering in a restaurant or just, sharing a story with a friend, we want to move you beyond good and yummy.
And straight into sounding like a true connoisseur. So let's start with the most basic question of all. What is your favorite food? Our sources show that a really good answer always involves context. Take pizza, for instance.
Okay.
Not just any pizza, but the simple perfection of a margherita. That cheesy slice, fresh from the oven, with just tomato, mozzarella, and basil.
Exactly. And you can contrast that with the other example in the reading, sushi.
Right.
Which is fresh, colorful, so delicate. Each piece feels like a tiny work of art.
The key insight here isn't the food itself. It's that you always have to say why you like it.
That context is what transforms the answer. Instead of just saying, I like sushi.
Which is fine, but a little flat.
It's a little flat. You sound so much more fluent when you add the emotional or physical reason. My favorite food is sushi because it's so light and healthy.
Or I love pizza because it's just so cheesy and comforting. That because statement is absolutely essential.
And to really paint that picture for someone, you need the right adjectives.
Exactly. And we're going to skip the basics, sweet, salty, and dive right into the words that can elevate how you talk about food. This is our advanced vocabulary spotlight. So what are the words that get us beyond just tasty?
We have 7 really powerful words here. First, let's talk about savory.
Okay, savory.
This one is crucial. Savory isn't sweet, it's that rich, deep satisfaction, sometimes called umami.
Right, like what you get from a long simmered broth or a really good aged cheese.
A perfectly aged cheese. That's a fantastic distinction. Then you get into texture. We've all used that simple pairing. I enjoy fried chicken because it's crispy outside.
And juicy inside. A classic.
A classic for a reason. But what if you're describing a beautiful piece of meat? You want to use the word tender.
Tender, soft, easy to chew.
Falling apart on your fork. Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you're talking about, say, fresh vegetables, you might want crunchy.
That satisfying sound when you bite into it, it adds a great contrast.
It does. And if a dish just has a lot going on, what's the word then?
That's flavorful, full of taste, complex, hitting all these different notes.
Perfect. Then, of course, you have spicy, hot, and strong, and fresh, which really speaks to quality. Recently made or straight from the garden.
And the last one, rich. I hear that used for heavy desserts a lot.
Precisely. Rich means deep and strong in taste. It could be a sauce, a dessert, or even a decadent steak. Mastering these lets you explain why that pizza is comforting or why the sushi feels like art.
So now that we can talk about our preferences, let's move this into the social arena. Food is such a natural topic for small talk.
Absolutely. A simple, friendly question like, what kind of food do you enjoy, can really open doors.
But just as important as knowing what you like is, well, knowing how to say what you don't like politely.
Yes, this is crucial. You want to sound friendly and confident, not rude. And the sources gave us 3 specific, really useful phrases for this.
And these are key for just keeping things pleasant. The first one is, I'm not a big fan of.
Simple, effective.
The second is a little more informal. It's not really my thing.
And the third, which is great for covering habits or dietary choices, is I don't usually eat.
I think people struggle with this because they worry about offending someone like a host or a waiter.
But these phrases let you be firm without being rude at all. You just insert whatever it is. I'm not a big fan of spicy food.
Fast food is not really my thing.
Or I don't usually eat red meat. You're just stating a personal boundary, clearly and politely.
Let's transition that confidence straight into ordering at a restaurant. We've all had that moment. The waiter asks, are you ready to order? And your mind just goes blank.
It happens. You need a simple, polite structure. The 2 core ones are your best friends here. Yes, I'd like, or can I have?
And we absolutely cannot stress this enough. The one magic word that ensures politeness.
Always. Always remember to say please. It buys you so much social grace. Let's run through the full exchange from the source material. Imagine the waiter asks for your main course.
You say, yes, I'd like the grilled chicken, please.
And for the sides?
Mashed potatoes, please.
And the drink?
Just water, thank you. It's so brief, so polite, and totally effective. It keeps the conversation flowing smoothly.
It does. And that connection to food, it goes so far beyond just ordering. This leads us into the emotional core of it all. Memory and culture.
Yeah, we're talking about comfort food.
Exactly.
I hadn't really thought about that link before. If you've had a long, tough day, what do you reach for? What food is just tied to pure emotion for you?
The sources gave some beautiful examples of this. Think about chicken soup. For so many, it's associated with your mom or grandmother making it for you when you were sick. It instantly reminds you of home, of warmth.
Or sometimes it's even simpler, like that example of warm rice with a fried egg.
Yes, described as feeling like pure peace after a long day. It's the simplicity of it.
We also saw examples tied to specific people, like pancakes because a father made them on Sunday mornings.
Or spaghetti, not just because it tastes good, but because it reminds someone of a formative trip to Italy.
And when you share those stories, you're using that descriptive language we talked about, but you're also adding your personal history. That's what makes a conversation truly captivating.
And if we zoom out to the bigger picture, this cultural context is just essential. Food is so linked to global culture, and sharing that is a powerful way to connect.
For instance, talking about table manners in Japan, where people say itadakimasu before eating.
It shows gratitude for the meal, for everyone who prepared it. It's not just a word, it's a shared belief system.
Or think about Italy, where meals aren't rushed transactions, they're events.
Right. They can last for hours, full of stories and laughter. Bringing that kind of context into your conversation shows a real depth of understanding.
Okay, now for the final layer of sophistication, the flavor of conversational nuance.
Yes, idioms.
Idioms. They show a level of fluency that's way beyond basic vocabulary.
Let's look at how we can integrate 5 great food idioms into just everyday conversation.
We'll start with an easy one. Piece of cake.
Meaning, of course, something easy. Learning this conversational structure is going to be a piece of cake now that you have the vocabulary.
Nice. Okay, next up, something a bit juicier. Spill the beans.
That just means to reveal a secret. You can use it playfully, like, come on, spill the beans. Who gave you that amazing new recipe?
I love how these just instantly change the tone. How about for describing someone who stays calm when everyone else is panicking?
They are cool as a cucumber. She stayed cool as a cucumber, even when the delivery chef was running 2 hours late.
And what about someone important?
You might call them the big cheese, the leader. He's the big cheese at the local farmer's market. He knows every grower personally.
And the last one, which I feel is very applicable to modern life, have a lot on your plate.
Meaning you're very busy. I can't possibly host dinner this week. I've just got a lot on my plate with this new project. See how they add personality?
They really do. Before we close out, though, we need a quick vocabulary review for judgment and nuance. We covered delicious, but what about the negative side?
Absolutely. You need the word bland, which just means without much flavor, kind of boring.
And for texture problems.
Greasy, meaning too oily. And then we have ways to categorize our choices.
Like healthy, good for your body.
And maybe the most fun one for conversation, guilty pleasure.
Ah, yes. Something you love, but you feel a little bad about eating because it's not, particularly healthy or refined.
Exactly. Like the chocolate mentioned in the source material. It's decadent and delicious, but for many people, definitely a guilty pleasure.
It's a great way to show you don't take your food choices too seriously all the time.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? Well, you now have the tools to describe food with advanced words, to discuss memories with real emotion, to order confidently, and to use idioms for true fluency. Knowledge is most valuable when you can apply it.
Exactly. English without emotion is like food without flavor. So now you have the structure. Use it. My favorite food is blank because blank. Practice it, share it, and just watch how much more interesting your conversations become.
And for your final thought to mull over, given how much food connects us to memory, to culture, think of those hours-long meals full of stories. What unexpected historical event do you think was shaped, even just slightly, by a shared meal? Maybe a truce was signed over bad coffee, or a key decision made over a huge celebratory feast. It's just something to think about until our next deep dive.
A wonderful, savory challenge. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into conversational fluency around the dinner table. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and keep adding that wonderful flavor to your conversations. We'll see you next time.
Hey everyone, and welcome. So today we're going to dive into a topic that pretty much everyone loves, food. Specifically, we're talking about how to speak about it confidently and naturally in English. It sounds so simple, right? But for a lot of language learners, it can be surprisingly tricky. Well, today we are going to fix that. So, here's what we've got on the menu today. First, we'll look at why this is such a common hurdle. Then I'm going to give you a super simple formula for describing your favorite foods. After that, we'll get into real-world stuff like making small talk and ordering at a restaurant. And finally, the really fun part, we'll get into how you can connect with people through stories about food. Okay, let's just jump right in with the big one. A question I'm sure you've heard a million times. What is your favorite food? No, really, take a second. Think about it. Do you have an answer ready to go? Did your mind just go completely blank? Hey, if it did, you are so not alone. It's an incredibly common feeling. You know exactly what you love to eat, but when you have to say it in English, the words just kind of poof, they disappear. It's frustrating, I know, but we're about to make that feeling go away for good. You know, here's the thing. The problem isn't that you don't have an opinion. Of course you do. The real challenge is translating that passion, that feeling, into English words that sound natural and interesting and not, like you're just reading a line from a textbook. Okay, so how do we fix this? Well, I've got a super simple but really powerful formula for you. To answer that big favorite food question, all you have to remember are two little words: what and why. Let me show you how it works. Step 1, just name the food. My favorite food is pizza. Super simple, right? But here's where the magic happens. Step 2, you've got to say why, adding, because it's cheesy and comforting. That's what takes a really basic answer and turns it into a real conversation. And check out how personal that why can be. I love pasta because it reminds me of home. See? That's not just a description, that's a feeling. It's got emotion. So what's your why? Think about it. Is it a memory? A certain flavor? That's the part that makes your answer totally unique. Now, if you want to make your why even more powerful, you need the right words. I want you to think of these adjectives as like your own personal flavor toolkit. Instead of just saying something is good, you can get way more specific. Is it crispy and salty? Or maybe it's creamy and savory. Using words like these really brings your description to life. Okay, so you've got a handle on talking about what you love. But what about the flip side? How do you talk about foods you don't like without coming off as rude or, unfriendly? Well, that's where mastering small talk comes in. It's all about being polite to keep the conversation going. This slide is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Just saying, I don't like it, well, it can sound a little blunt, but check out these alternatives. Phrases like, I'm not a big fan of, or it's not really my thing, are so much softer. They let you share your preference without totally shutting down the conversation. Let's see this in action. You politely say what you're not a big fan of, you mention something you do like, and then, and this part is absolutely key, you turn it right back to them. What about you? Honestly, it's one of the best phrases in English for keeping a conversation feeling balanced and friendly. Okay, let's move on to something super practical, but also something that can cause a ton of anxiety for language learners: ordering food at a restaurant. We're going to break it down so you can do it with total confidence. All right, picture this. You're at the table, you've checked out the menu, and the waiter comes over and asks this exact question. This is it. But don't panic. All you need are a couple of key phrases and you've got this. These right here, these are your magic words. Yes, I'd like, or can I have? They're the perfect, polite way to start your order. And of course, please, 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 remember to add please at the end. It's not optional, it just makes everything so much nicer. So, let's put it all together. Just listen to how smooth this sounds. Yes, I'd like the grilled chicken, please. And mashed potatoes for the side. See? Clear, polite, confident. Boom. You've ordered your meal. It really is that easy. Okay, so far we've been talking about the really functional stuff, right? Getting the job done. But food is so much more than that. It's about connection, it's about stories. And this is where you get to add your personality to your English. I want you to think about your comfort food for a second. That thing you eat when you've had a bad day. You see, that link between food and memories, it's totally universal. And when you share those little stories, that's when you stop just speaking English and you start really communicating in it. You want to know a really fun way to add some extra flavor to your English? Food idioms. Like this one. If something's super easy, you can say it's a piece of cake. Hopefully, by the end of this, talking about food will feel like a piece of cake for you.
Okay, here's another great one you'll hear all the time. If you want someone to tell you a secret, you can say, "Come on, spill the beans." It's a fun, playful phrase you'll hear in movies and with friends.
And one more. If someone is just super calm and relaxed, especially when things are stressful, you can say they're cool as a cucumber. I love that one. It's such a great visual, right? Using these shows, you really have a feel for the language. And this right here is really the most important thing I want you to take away from all this. You can know all the grammar in the world, but it's the emotion, the personality, the stories you share. That's what makes people want to listen. It's the difference between food with no salt and food that's packed with flavor. So, before we go, I have a little challenge for you. I want you to actually do this, right now. Complete this sentence out loud. Tell me your favorite food and tell me why. This is step 1. This is you putting it all into practice. All right, that's all for today. Remember, every conversation you have is a chance to get better. So don't be afraid to get out there and share your opinions, your tastes, your stories. Just keep adding that flavor to your English. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.